The theories and ideas shared in this episode are based on publicly available information and are for the purpose of creative thought and entertainment. The topics we discuss are our own opinions and purely speculative. Our aim is to explore claims made by prominent individuals, verify them best as we can, and discuss their potential reality. We're just two regular dudes who are fascinated by this phenomena. Enjoy the conversation.
So this next video is brought to us by New Paradigm is the handle, but it's for the New Paradigm Institute is where this channel is on the official channel on X. So this one is about disclosure. So let's check it out.
Process of trying
Oops,
to
let me restart it.
It has to be this sort of limited form of disclosure that's these people are sort of coordinating.
Yep.
Because the videos, the three videos, you know, whether it's Go Fast or Gimbal or Nimitz, all these videos are not high quality. They're not high resolution.
They're nowhere near what they've got.
It's only one sensor, and then they say, you know, we have a lot better stuff, you know.
Yeah. But for some reason, there's been a decision that was made, you know, in 2017, at the very end of 2017, to come forward to begin a process of trying to establish control, literally, over the disclosure of the UFO information. And it actually generated an extraordinary piece of legislation that the United States Senate approved. That was a 64-page bill that set up this complex process of undertaking a controlled disclosure and actually formulating a controlled disclosure campaign to go over a 7-year period to start rolling out information to the public, into the world, therefore, about what it is that the United States government knew about the UFO phenomenon and about some vaguely identified non-human intelligence.
So what you're talking about now is the Schumer amendment to
Yes.
the forward-looking year 2024 NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. So it's the
That's right.
defense budget every year.
That's the one.
And it was this amendment, and it talks about non-human intelligence and the government declaring eminent domain over non-human craft that's in the possession of these, you know, private aerospace companies.
Wow. So yeah, immediately when they started talking about the videos not being high quality, I have a buddy who was a helicopter pilot. He flew Apaches in right around the time of Black Hawk Down, the battle at Mogadishu, and he said, you know, the movies and what you see on the Discovery Channel about the equipment and the quality of the video is always 10-20 years behind what they actually had at the time. So because it's just a security risk to release, you know, what they can actually see at the current time and how good their technology really is. So that was the first thing that I thought of when he brought that up. Oh, you're muted, Ross.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really interesting that you bring that up, because whenever you look at those videos, they're very grainy and it looks like that it's like from the 1980s.
Right.
So you're like, what? Like, is that really what our equipment and technology looks like? But yeah, it's not, you know.
Not by a long
So
shot. And the other thing too about the plan, like I think he said the 7-year plan to
yeah,
disclose
the disclosure
information.
plan.
Yeah, because
Hmm.
even myself, and I'm sure you've wondered, like, why all of a sudden are they kind of trickling the stuff out to us? You know, we talked about it in
Right.
different podcasts. You know, are they doing it for
Mm.
a beneficial reason? Like, what made them want to do that? So that kind of brought some light to me on why we're learning bit by bit. And it's really interesting to hear the government wants I'm saying that word wrong, but you know, control over all of the you know, non-human NHI craft, and
Hmm.
you know, that they just want control over it, and for these private companies to have, like Boeing and all these others. So super
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. So right now it's believed that these contractors are the ones that have access to this because they've got the labs to test the equipment, and it just, yeah, they have these exotic materials, and so technically the government can't really release it, and I think that's how it is, if I'm understanding it correctly. but that the government does not have the domain to go in there, confiscate it, and release it to the public. Now, there's no guarantee that once they confiscate it all that they're going to release anything to the public. So that's the flip side to this. But again, well, neither of the contractors, so maybe try a new strategy here. So it is very interesting. And for some of the new viewers to this channel, you've probably never even heard of this UAP bill. And you probably never even knew that one passed last year and that a revised version of that is in Congress right now. So it is interesting. And like you said, that they're slowly releasing things, the videos, there's more and more whistleblowers coming forward. David Grush, Lou Elizondo, they're bringing more credibility to the topic and a lot more discussion on the topic. There still is resistance to it because not everybody does want this controlled disclosure. So that's very interesting as well. But it does feel like that there's something happening. I don't know if it's aliens. I don't know if it's interdimensional stuff, time travel, whatever. But it does seem like that there is some information that that black budget programs or classified programs within the government have information on.
Yeah, yeah, the whole non-human intelligence, just also
Mm-hmm.
Grush, made that term, or you coined that term, really to
Mm-hmm.
Congress. It's super interesting to think about.
Right.
And why would the military spend a bunch of money to make a lab that Boeing or another private company already has? That we know that
Right.
government loves to contract work out, so that
Mm-hmm.
makes a lot of sense why they would bring it to these people. So, in
Right.
your opinion, you think the public is ready to learn the full truth? Let's say they had an actual alien in the room video. Do you think we're ready as a society to learn that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we always have been. Um, I think at the end of the day, whenever if you're lying or misleading, it starts snowballing.
Yes.
And the best thing to do is just be transparent up front, even if it looks bad, because the longer that it's being held away, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And especially our elected Congress members, and we've talked about this on other episodes, is that if you're electing somebody to make decisions related to life and death for the nation, those elected members need to know about this. If there's something about our universe that the general public doesn't know about or is way different than what we're told to the general public, then our elected members need to have access to this. And to an extent, the public needs to know about it as well, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, no, I totally agree. So I just wanted to hear your side of it, but yeah, that was really
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to the next one.
Let's check it out. So this next video is brought to us by Alex DeLarge. His handle is on X, ADelarge60. So this is going to be
Hmm.
Danny Sheehan saying that Travis Taylor and Jay Stratton have been compromised and are against disclosure because they now work for Raytheon.
Yeah, and this is really interesting. And by the way, this is a great podcast to check out. He does a great job, has a lot of very interesting interviews. But this clip is very interesting, and why I picked it out. It kind of shows that there's two sides to this congressional bill that's going through Congress right now, and how important it is, and how seriously people are taking it. Because these contractors do not want government intimate. Wait, what was it again? God.
Government,
Imminent. Is it
eminent domain,
imminent?
eminent domain.
Imminent domain. God,
Yes.
I screwed it up.
It's hard.
I'm
Yeah,
over here saying intimate domain.
I had a hard time. Yeah, saying it myself. Yeah.
um, Eminent domain.
Mhm.
These contractors don't want that because the government will be coming in and taking some of their stuff, but at the same time, it's like the bill is very specific about it being non-human and related to UFOs. Well, if you don't have this exotic material or anything to hide, why are you spending so many resources, as we'll see in this video? Why are you spending resources on Congress members to vote against this bill?
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Let's
let's get to it.
check her out.
Do you still believe that Travis Taylor and Jay Stratton are working against UFO disclosure? Like, where are you on this?
Well, all I said is that I know that that once they left the U.S. government employment and became employed by Radiance Technology, and we know that Radiance Technology is working on this program of prompt global strike, of trying to back engineer the technology, and that they have actively engaged in meeting with members of Congress to persuade them to vote against the bill.
Do you still believe?
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you've kind of summed it up before the video even started, Ross, but I just gotta say that guy's mustache game is very high. Like, I am jealous.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I see why the contractors would not want to lose control over this stuff, you know? So,
hmm
yeah, I totally agree with
Right.
what you
But it
said
just
earlier.
makes us, yeah. But it just makes us like sit there going like, wait, what? This talks about non-human intelligence. What are you afraid of?
Right.
Like, it's like, if it's not related to non-human intelligence, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's very
So,
true.
so does that mean that you do have stuff from non-human intelligence?
Yeah, catch 'em slipping there.
Ah,
I like it.
yeah. Because I mean, to me, it's just like, oh, pass the bill, you won't find anything, you know.
Right.
But there seems to be an active campaign to not pass it, which makes it very interesting. Like, why not? What's up with this? You
Yeah.
know.
Right.
So
What do you got behind those closed hangar doors, you know?
yeah, I would be very cautious if I was reading somebody's explanation, or if somebody was trying to persuade you not to pass this bill. I would really, question them and wonder why do you not want this passed? Like, obviously, if there's nothing to hide, again, there's
Yeah.
nothing to hide.
Very true. Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%.
All right. Well, we got one more video,
All
and
right.
this one's going to be a fun one.
Mr. Daniel Sheehan does not disappoint so far. All right, let's
Yes,
go to the
sir.
next one.
So this video I selected to put at the end for Andrew. Really want to see his reaction to this. I think the audience is really going to like this one too. It's quite a treat. I've listened to this back and forth so many times. I still remember the first time I heard it, and I was like, wait. He said what? So this should be, and this was recently. This was in Jesse Michael's interview, which we've done a ton of clips from. Still, we've not covered just a bunch of stuff that's in that interview. Really recommend you checking it out. But this one for me was like, oh, we got to talk about this one.
Oh, I'm
So,
excited. Yeah, let's check her out.
yes, sir.
Absolutely, totally credible witnesses that I could put in front of any American jury, and the jury would be absolutely clear that they were telling them the truth, who have had direct face-to-face contact with one or more of these extraterrestrial beings. They have them in American underground military bases.
They have the beings.
They have the beings.
What? So
They've interviewed the beings. I've talked to people who were there when they were interviewing the beings.
Where are the beings being held?
That particular one was at S4.
In Area 51.
Outside of Area 50, about 11 miles away.
I would totally distrust that, but I have some good friends who are very trustworthy. So they're a couple, and the husband broke the world record for the biggest wave ever surfed in Nazaré, Portugal. His name's Garrett McNamara, and her name's Nicole, and they're very good people, and they would never lie.
Yeah.
And they have a friend who worked at Area 51, or might be a friend of a friend, but they met him, and he was totally traumatized. And after having worked there,
Yes.
and he said that he was led down into a basement.
That's right.
And he saw reptilian creatures, and they were speaking English.
Well, they're telepathic. They're telepathic, and they talk French to French people. They talk German to German people. But they're telepathic.
But isn't that weird? That's strange, though, right?
Strange, yes. Yes, there's no doubt about that.
So, but then
Oh wow, reptilians? Of all the things, reptilians. Oh man.
I know, right?
Wow.
Oh man, I've been so excited to show you that clip on here and get your live reaction to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been those
Isn't that
rumors.
wild?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. There's always been those rumors of like, oh, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base has, alien
Hmm.
cadavers and, parts, and oh, they could even be housing a real alien. I've read books that even the plot revolved around that. But yeah, the Ross and I always joke about reptilians infiltrating, and so that's
Yeah,
amazing. And the fact that when they telepathically speak to you, they can just use your
right,
language. Wow, that's really really cool. So
right. And did you recognize one of the locations that they were talking about?
Bob Lazar, yeah, that's where he was at.
Yes, sir.
S4, right?
S4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that was kind of interesting too. And yeah, it was funny when they were like, that's a little weird, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see how it'd mess you up mentally if you went down into a basement
Like,
and saw a reptilian that
the
started talking
reptilian.
to you in English. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, that's a little weird, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, just a little, just a little.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It's really weird.
Right, right. Yeah,
But
that's
oh
amazing.
man, and it's so cool too. He's just like, yeah, dude, I have a bunch of witnesses, credible witnesses with incredible backgrounds, high security. He didn't say high security clearances, but I'm sure that's what he means. That it's like these guys have um just the need to know where they can convince any jury that they were there, this is what they saw, and this is what happened, and these are the conversations that they had telepathically.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So
That's a bold claim, but I mean even the interviewer was like, I've heard stories of that. So that's what
yeah,
I really like
yeah,
too.
because you were getting ready for him to say, oh yeah, yeah, whatever, dude. Like he kind of
Mm-hmm.
was giving him the eye, but then he was like,
Yes.
I can't do it because like I've talked to some people about this and I've heard these exact same things from people that I trust.
Right. Right.
And that's always interesting to me is like, how much do you trust somebody? And everybody can lie, anybody can. It's just how the world is. But there are some people that you trust,
Yes.
and that you're just like, when that guy says something, I listen, and you know I respect it, and I it means it's not just some random person telling me something
Right.
you
No,
know
agreed. 100% agreed. But yeah, that's amazing. The reptilians out of all the things. Not grays, not
Yeah.
not little green men, but reptilians. Man.
No. Big green men.
Yeah, right, right. That's awesome.
All right. Well, I guess let's close this thing up.
All right, let's do it. So yeah, we saw some clips from Mr. Danny Sheehan. He had a lot to say. If anything, the guy's been involved in some very important legal action throughout the history of our country. So you've got to give him
Hmm.
respect and dues for that. He definitely has been there to protect the people and for some good causes. So I have a hard time not believing him when he says that that he's heard and seen these things that he's proclaiming today.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't he fascinating? Like
Yeah.
this guy is, he's fascinating, and he's got an incredible resume that makes you just go like, man, is this guy being serious? Like,
Yeah.
like somebody that has all these accomplishments, it's like, man, you're talking about reptilians. You're talking about, UFOs and aliens and all of these things. And you can tell he is just, he's on top of it, as in like, he's like, this is real. Like, this is true. He is convinced. And yeah, really really cool stuff. And just real quick, if you did make it this far into the video, please give this video a like, please share, join us in subscribing to our channel. It really does help a small YouTube channel like ours get our content out there. But yeah, these conversations, we have a lot of fun just talking about this stuff, because at the end of the day, even if these claims are BS, they are entertaining, they are
Yes.
fun. I recommend not losing any sleep over any of this stuff. don't
Right.
don't take it too seriously. Now it is, it is very interesting, and it could all be real. This could all be real stuff going on. But it also could be BS at the end of the day. It all could none of this could hold water. We don't know. This could be all some big, as we talked about in the Bob Lazar case, possible psyop,
Yes.
where they're just, putting BS documentation and stories in front of very credible people, and just seeing how they're going to react to it and how they're going to respond.
Yeah.
And yeah, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested in watching the full documentary that we took these clips from.
mhm.
Like, if anything, it sold me on watching that and checking it out and seeing what more Danny has to say. So,
Yeah.
like Ross said earlier, if you're interested in this, definitely go check it out. What was the name, sorry, of the documentary one more time, Ross?
It's by Jesse Michaels, and I think it was like the man a part of every conspiracy, American conspiracy,
Okay.
something like that. Great documentary, and Jesse Michaels is awesome. Like, he's very entertaining. He does a really great job of in his production and everything, and he's got some really great guests. He's actually very good friends with Weinstein, the mathematician Eric Weinstein,
Okay. Not
and
Harvey, just to clarify.
yeah. And it might be pronounced Weinstein. It's either Weinstein or Weinstein, Eric. And no disrespect to the guy. I do watch a lot of his content and find a lot of his stuff very, very interesting. But yeah, it's a very, very fascinating topic with Daniel Sheehan. And yeah, I guess with that, you got any final thoughts about Mr. Sheehan?
No, I think he's a really good dude, and I'm interested to deep dive a little bit more. This is a rabbit hole I would definitely go down some more with Mr. Danny.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to reiterate again, like you said, if you made it this far, thanks a lot. It means the world to us. We appreciate everyone and anyone who watches our content.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I guess with that, Rusty Saucer out.
Rusty Saucer, out.